Maintenance checklist items for conveyor, turntable, and stabilizers. Conveyor checklist. Before using the conveyor, turntable, and stabilizers each day, a routine maintenance check is required for safe operation. Check to make sure all safety and warning labels are present and legible. Refer to the operations manual located in the instruction tube on the loading end of the conveyor for the proper safety decals and their proper placement onto the conveyor. Check to make sure the conveyor loading guard is in place and not damaged. Check the belt for proper tension. When lifting up the belt by holding onto a set of cleats in the center of the conveyor, you should only be able to lift the belt 5 to 6 inches above the conveyor frame. To adjust the belt tension, loosen the nuts on the take-up adjuster bolt on both sides of the conveyor located at the loading end of the conveyor and tighten or loosen the belt by adjusting the nuts. Make sure you adjust both sides evenly so as to allow the belt to travel straight. Check the belt for any cracks, tears, or holes. Make sure the belt splice is in good condition and holding the belt together properly. If you need to replace the belt, remember to replace it with only a non-conductive belt available from Cleesby Conveyors. Check to make sure the chain guard covering the chain and sprocket drive at the top end of the conveyor is in place and not damaged. Check the safety on-off valve at the top of the conveyor to make sure it is functioning properly. Replace the handle or knob if missing. Check the non-conductive hydraulic lines going into the safety on-off valve and going down the conveyor frame for cuts, leaks, or fraying. If you need to replace these hydraulic lines, remember to use only non-conductive hydraulic lines available from Cleesby Conveyors. Turntable checklist. Check the 4-spool control valve to make sure each control function is working properly and the proper handle decals are in place. Check the wear plugs on the outside of the outer post and on some models the middle post. Make sure they are adjusted in so as not to allow the inner posts to rub against the outer posts. Check the cylinder pins on the hydraulic cylinder that raises and lowers the conveyor and the saddle pin that connects the conveyor to the turntable post. Make sure the cotter pins are in place and not missing. If one of these pins were allowed to fall out, the conveyor could become detached. Check the velocity fuse or stop valve located at the bottom of the hydraulic cylinder. Make sure it is in place and performing properly. This stop valve keeps the conveyor from falling if a hydraulic hose breaks or if the hydraulic system loses pressure. Check the restrictor fitting located at the opposite end of the hydraulic line that the velocity fuse is located. Replace if missing or plugged. The fitting must work together with the velocity fuse valve or the conveyor will stay in the locked position. Check turntable posts for grease and lubricants. Make sure there is plenty applied to the inner posts. Check the gear bearing located below the turntable base plate for excessive wear or gaps. Replace if necessary. Check the hydraulic oil reservoir level by looking at the sight gauge mounted on the side of the reservoir. The reservoir should not be filled more than 75% full. Hydraulic stabilizer checklist. Check hydraulic stabilizer leg pins for wear or damage. Check hydraulic control valve and handles for their proper function. Check the check valve installed on the stabilizer cylinder. Replace if missing. This check valve keeps the stabilizer leg from coming down or folding up if the truck loses hydraulic pressure. Your safety, as well as the safe operation of all Cleesby conveyor equipment, is very important. Following all written instructions and safety decals, as well as all procedures in this video, will help to create a safe and accident-free workplace.